You're missing the point as usual. You're talking about Charlie Kirk in the context that you see it, that he was simply talking about people being hired because of their color, the color of their skin, because of their race, and not because of their merit. But you're dismissing the merit. Charlie Kirk specifically, in the examples that keep getting given to you over and over and over again, specifically talked about surgeons and commercial airline pilots. Your assumption is that hospitals and airlines are going to hire people who are not qualified to do the job solely because they're black. You're assuming that a hospital is going to let somebody perform surgery on somebody because they're black and they don't have enough black surgeons on hand, whether or not that person is actually qualified or not. You're assuming that an airline is going to let a pilot fly passengers from one destination to another without actually having the skill to do so, simply because that person is black and that airline doesn't have enough black people on payroll. That's insane. In order to get either one of those jobs to begin with, you have to be qualified. What people like you don't understand about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is that it begins with a qualified pool of candidates. Let's say we're talking about the airline pilot position, and you have 100 candidates. Okay, all 100 of these candidates are good to be pilots. They have the skills, they have the training, they have the necessary mindset to be a pilot. All of them qualify to be a pilot. Everybody in that 50. Now the airline looks and says, we have 150 pilots on staff. And of the 150 pilots on staff, 143 of them are white. We should have more representation of what our customer base looks like. We don't just fly white people around. So of the 50 qualified people, we're going to look for candidates that are of color. Or of the 150 pilots we have on staff, 143 of them are men. So of the 50 qualified candidates, we're going to look for some of them that are women. Your assumptions are always, you and the people like you, your assumptions are always, from the starting standpoint, is that the person isn't qualified to do the job. That's not true. The people are qualified to do the job. You assume they're not qualified because they're black. You assume they're not qualified because, with all due respect, you're ignorant enough to believe that hospitals and airlines are going to put unqualified people in those positions simply to meet a quota. That is some of the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my entire life.